Jennifer found Gregory's gun. Gregory's gun. Okay, round 2. Fight. Round 2 functions exactly the same as round 1.
I'm sorry, Joshua.
If you hear him do that, this is the point where we're gonna end. Do not equip the gun. If you equip the gun and use it, it is the bad ending. We'll get the good ending. Use the gun.
I'm sorry, Joshua. Yes.
And congratulations, you've reached the end of the game. Yay. Oh, oops. Yeah. I say end because... Come on, let's get this. January 1930, Once Upon a Time. The chapter of Once Upon a Time is a bonus chapter you get for getting the good ending of the game. Here we are. Once Upon a Time is supposed to be the chapter where everything is kind of a lot more background information is given to you. Once upon a time. Once upon a time. There you go. Once Upon a Time is basically just background information. It'll give you, there are letters over here, letters over there. I have not completely explored the mansion. I suggest you do. Definitely if you haven't understood the complete story, because at this point you've been told the complete story. Congratulations, Chris. You figured it out halfway through. All the chapters are based on Jennifer's memories in the orphanage. Actually, if we... And I've been avoiding this one. If you remember, the Little Princess story is the one that was filling itself automatically. Once upon a time, there was a precious little girl. But her friend, the Princess of the Red Rose, was always at her side. Then one day, her mummy and daddy died suddenly. The princess, too, disappeared, leaving the girl all alone. And the poor little girl was sent away to a strange house. Out of her new home, the aristocrat club lived by the rule of Rose, but the girl found herself very much alone. Until she discovered a wonderful new friend. The girl and her companion obeyed the rule of the Rose, for in the aristocrat club the rule of the Rose was absolute, as was the word of the Princess of the Red Rose. The girl obeyed the rule of the Rose, but the Countess refused to like her. The girl obeyed the rule of the Rose, but the Baroness punished her still. The girl obeyed the rule of the Rose, but the Duchess taunted her anew. And yet the girl and her friend were still faithful to the rule of the Rose. The Princess of the Red Rose found this all very dull, and so she issued a rule of Rose for the final time. The girl was to sacrifice her very special friend, and when she did, she became a princess. A lonely little princess, burdened by the rule of Rose, the woeful princess put her memories under lock and key, forever and ever. So, all the chapters have basically represented a month of her life in the orphanage. Jokes were played on Eleanor, on Diana. Basically what happened was And there are a few news articles scattered that I didn't find. There was one I forgot to find. Basically, Jennifer's parents died in an airplane crash. Everybody in that airplane crash died. The only survivor was Jennifer. Gregory found Jennifer and mistook her for Joshua, his recently deceased son. So he took her to our house and kept her in the basement. Wendy found Jennifer, at the time Joshua, by looking through the window into the basement, and they started to correspond. That was until later on where Jennifer told Wendy that she was not Joshua, but Jennifer and a girl. Wendy helped Jennifer escape, and they made the Red Crayon Association. Obviously, Jennifer could not be the prince, so they replaced her with the teddy bear Joshua, and she became the Princess of Rose. Wendy was the only person who was nice to Jennifer, and then Jennifer found Brown and started taking care of him. Wendy grew very jealous. She was jealous of the affection that Jennifer was giving the dog and not her, so she tried everything to get Jennifer to abandon Brown. When that didn't work, she made the other children kill Brown. When she killed Brown, as you can see, Jennifer went crazy on Wendy, called her a liar, and she ran out crying. Right then and there, the girls decided to dethrone Wendy and elected Jennifer the new princess. Later, Wendy came back with Gregory dressed as Joshua and trained him to become Stray Dog. Gregory killed everyone in the orphanage. Only Jennifer was spared because when he saw her, she reminded him of Joshua still, and he took the gun and shot himself. And yet again, Jennifer was the only survivor. It is assumed, because there's no actual plot point, that Jennifer repressed the memories, and then the game begins with her remembering them. That's why we were in an airship. And basically that's it. That's the story. I still like how this game actually presents itself. How it presented the flow, you know what I mean? Because it's assumed the stories she was retelling were, one, foretelling the chapter, and two, were based probably off the stories Gregory told her when she was Joshua. So you can see Wendy here. We can now leave. As you see, Wendy is not too happy with that. Since the beginning of the game where we've been trapped, we can finally leave. You can turn around and look at her, but she can't follow. So off we go, leaving the mansion and her memories all behind. And we hear a poor little puppy. Please wait for me. I'll be there. Rickety Shed. This is the one where we originally found the leash. And here's Brown. Or the puppy Brown. The imps in the game are actually supposedly supposed to represent the demons, the parts of her mind that didn't want to remember what happened. So we can actually check out the Bucket Knight, who doesn't have a bucket like Chris pointed out long time ago. My dear friend, I never want to lose you again. I'll protect you forever until I die. Everlasting true love, I am yours. I'll protect you. Forever and ever until I die. And there we go, the credits. So basically at the end, Jennifer locks away her memories deep within, so she will never forget Brown or the other memories.
When I call your name,
So what did you think of the game, Chris?
don't set me free.
It was,
As can be.
I don't know. Like,
Do you harm? I will
gameplay wasn't necessarily all that
I'm a
amazing.
victim
Um,
of your charms. I want to be dead when I'm in bed. I can't be so mean.
it was alright.
Beat me. I would like to shame you. I would like to blame you. Just because
There isn't any real context for
love to you.
why there were sledgehammers and axes and stuff as weapons, though.
It's
Well, they just needed combat.
as roses in May.
I know combat, with how I saw development cost and that stuff, they left combat rough, so I think combat was probably the last thing they actually focused on, because
Just as
it's just not as integral. It's not like that was...
that is good.
It's tacked on to the game, not a big part of it, if you get what I mean. More of it is the interaction between the characters, which you can do in between the battles and that stuff. I kind of skimmed over some stuff. There isn't like a lot I missed, besides some contextual newspapers, but even those are kind of fractured because you don't know the full story until you actually get to the end.
'Cause love is selfless, just as
But yeah, it's definitely a very interesting game to me. I think the environment was good, the story was good, it's conveyed properly in a way that is tied to the game, or tied to the mechanics and what it needs to be instead of the game tied to it. And of course I don't know any of those voice actors.
I think at points it was unnecessarily strange. Like the mermaid and some of the book stories.
I think the book stories, I think, were based off some of the fairy tales Gregory told her as a child. What happens is that the memories are kind of twisted because they are memories from Jennifer's perspective, and she was a child then, so some of the things come off kind of weird because she was a child and she didn't understand. Like, there's been fan speculation that the girl we saw with the teacher, the headmaster, was actually being sexually abused by the headmaster. and that the girl there, because she was puking, she had morning sickness and she was actually like pregnant with child or something. Before Stray Dog came, the headmaster left, the girl left, and Martha left too. Nobody knows what really happened to them. It's never said if they die or something. We do know that Martha was the most concerned about the children. She actually sent letters to the police about Stray Dog, Gregory, and how much of a threat he posed to the children. But Jennifer wasn't very liked by the general staff because she would not do her chores, and she didn't care if she got punished. Key. The end is shaped like a 4-leaf clover. Jennifer found 4-leaf key. The 4-leaf key is for the second playthrough where you can get outfits, like a maid outfit or a doll outfit or an octopus outfit. If you get a special item in the last chapter, Once Upon a Time, which I didn't get, each of those costumes comes with a master weapon. Which is basically stronger than all the other weapons we've got in the game, but that's only accessible through the second playthrough. Actually, there's a joke, and I'm not sure if they actually meant it, but there's a master sword that's unused in the code. Okay. So that's it. That's the complete game, besides the bad ending, which I'll probably record later. It's really not that much different. I think it's going to take like 2 minutes, so I may just tack it on to the last part here and be just like, yeah, not enough to upload on its own. We will see you next game.
Later, guys.